It's time again to recap the latest news from the solar PV industry, compiled by the American Solar Energy Society. I'm Jay Warmke with SolarPVTraining.com, and this is what's happening in the wonderful world of solar for the week of October 20th. Now, Hurricanes Milton and Helene knocked out power for millions of customers and devastated electrical infrastructure within the southeastern United States. But residential solar and storage company Sunnova reports that about 98% of its rooftop solar installations were completely unaffected by these two recent storms. According to Sunnova, systems remained intact for about 19,000 customers in Florida during Hurricane Milton, and more than 13,000 customers across the southeast during Hurricane Helene, even when power infrastructure was knocked out or unable to deliver electricity to their customers. In August, Sunnova powered more than 54,500 customers in Puerto Rico through Tropical Storm Ernesto, and during that storm, local utilities lost power to more than half of the residents on the island for a 7-day period of time, but Sunnova reported that 98.5% of all of their systems were operational and completely undamaged during that time period. 2023 was a record year for utility-scale PV deployment, according to a recent report issued by Berkeley Labs. 2023's addition of 18.5 gigawatts AC brought a cumulative installed capacity on the grid of 80.2 gigawatts across 47 states. Installation costs for these larger systems continue to fall in 2023. Relative to 2022, capacity-weighted averages decreased by 8% to $1.43 per watt AC, or AC output, or that's about $1.08 per watt DC. Utility scale PV's levelized cost fell fairly dramatically when you add in the federal incentives, down to $31 per megawatt hour. Now, at $31 per megawatt hour, solar is by far the least expensive form of energy available to these utilities. It's lower than wind by a little bit, $35 per megawatt hour. It's about half the cost of natural gas at around $59 per megawatt hour, less than a third the cost of coal, which comes in at about $107 per megawatt hour, and just a whole bunch cheaper than nuclear, which is the most expensive at $168 per megawatt hour. A new study by Lawrence Berkeley National Labs has found that adding 1 hour of storage to existing wind and solar power plants increases the value of those power plants by about 49%. Increasingly, hybrid power plants, which incorporate solar and storage, for example, have been adding storage to their facilities. In fact, currently hybrid account for about 55% of all of the new utility scale systems being installed. If they increase the amount of storage up to 4 hours, they can add an additional 23% value. And where this value comes in, according to the report, is that in marketplaces where a lot of the demand is in the late afternoon or the early evening, they can then extend the amount of power being generated from these solar facilities in the form of storage past when the solar stops generating in the early evening. Virtual power plants are increasingly becoming commonplace as many utilities began offering programs that allow customers with battery systems to receive credits or grants in exchange for allowing the utility to draw on the collected stored capacity of these systems during periods of high energy demand. Enphase currently holds about 55% of the market share of all residential solar systems in the U.S. Most recently, they just added 3 new programs to their inventory of these virtual power plants. Duke Energy Power Pair Program, where customers can receive up to $9,000 as a grant to purchase Enphase batteries. San Diego Community Power, the customers there can receive up to $3,150. Customers are also eligible to continue to receive ongoing payments that can amount to as much as $3,000 over a 10-year period. An Eversource New Hampshire Clean Energy Fund for battery storage. Those participants will receive up to a $3,000 rebate for residential customers and up to $3,750 for commercial customers. Now, all of these new programs are in addition to existing virtual power plant programs that are part of the Enphase portfolio that exist for California homeowners in the PG&E territory, as well as programs for Long Island, New York, Arizona, Hawaii, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, Texas, Vermont, and utility customers in Connecticut. And that's the news from the solar industry for this week. We'll see you next week.